It's Chen here, local real estate agent. Today we're going to talk about closing cost, closing cost, closing cost, and closing cost. And I think closing cost is one of the biggest myths people get confused on, especially home buyers. So we're going to talk about closing costs today. I'm assuming you already got pre-approved, or you're thinking about getting pre-approved for a home loan and to buy a house in the near future, or you just want to learn a little bit more about that. So first of all, if you're a cash buyer, you're thinking about buying the next piece of real estate cash, there's going to be closing costs as well. The closing cost is just not the loan closing cost. Okay, so closing cost, from the name, basically it's the cost associated with you getting the real estate deal done. To close the deal, so there's going to be a cost, closing cost. Well, if you're a cash buyer, closing costs typically would just be any inspections you have during the process on the purchase, title fees, and closing agent fees. So it should be very, very minimal. Sometimes it should be just a few $100 and sometimes a couple of $1,000. Depends on the state, city you're in, okay? Well, let's talk about the big part here. If you're a loan buyer, you're coming in to buy a house with a home loan. So closing cost, same thing. It's gonna be the cost associated with you closing on that particular deal. But in that case, the majority of your closing cost is coming from your bank actually. So when you go get a pre-approval letter, you need to ask your loan officer something very, very important, which is called the fee estimate. Sometimes people call it the good faith estimate. Some banks will call it just breakdown sheet, okay? So you need to get that. Off of that sheet, your loan officer will be able to give you an estimate on the interest rate you'll have for your particular purchase. And will list all the fees the bank will charge you. Keep in mind, your bank will charge you fees to close on the deal, okay? Because people have to work for your file. Now you have that breakdown sheet, you have that fee sheet, and the bank's gonna tell you something called the origination fee, different fees, prepaids, all of those things. Then you have that sheet, you have that number in mind, you put all those numbers together, that's gonna be something called the closing cost. The fees or charges you have to pay in order for the loan to be closed on behalf of you. Once you have that sheet, you can go to different banks, ask for the same thing. Guess what? Now you have two fees in front of you. Now you can shop around, see who you like better. If you have more questions about closing costs and things like that, or anything related to real estate, feel free to comment below, let me know, or go to my website and set up a quick phone call with me. Look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.